Hey guys, Moneyman300. Welcome back for another edition of This Week in the Forza community. The week of February 22nd. Some of you, by the time this gets uploaded, may be the 23rd. For those halfway around the globe, like Australia and whatnot. But anyway, let's hop right into it. First thing I want to do is take a look at this week's leagues. Got a couple new leagues this week, and one less for those Pinnacle and Elite drivers, which is interesting, and we'll talk about that as it gets in here. So you can see we got I'm in Elite, so as for Elite drivers, you only have two leagues this week. There is no Ghost League for the Pinnacle and Elite, so if you're one of those that likes to drive and you're in that division, not going to be there this week. Not sure why they did that. Kind of read around a little bit, never really saw anything, but I know they're trying a lot of different things. So, but we do have what's called an Endurance League, and it's really basically similar to the Sim Leagues, and it's just double the time, or double the laps, I should say. But we're B class and Rally Day heroes, so we're talking about Subarus and Evos, those types of cars, and we'll go take a look at the car list in just a minute. And the car list is really short for the Spec League this week. It is Class A and the Lotus 211. That's going to be interesting. I found the D-Class, I like the spec races. I thought the Miata one was a little boring though, because the cars were just slow and it was kind of a train going in the races, but it was still fun. I like the fact that they had the stock races in there, and I hope they continue to do that. This one's going to be a little bit difficult. That 211 untuned is kind of a beast to drive. It's pretty skittish. Maybe a car you want to throw traction control on to help you control it, so that you're not running into people if you are having a problem with it. But yeah, so those are the two leagues that are available. There is a Ghost League, and I don't know what it is because I can't see it, but I will show you over in the forums how to find out what's going on there. So let's go take a look at, what did it say? It was Rally Day Heroes. So let's go take a look at our cars here. Let's back out of here. Let's go into free play, and that's fine. And let's go over to our game options. Take our car class restriction off. Oh, I don't care about that. And let's look at 4 Rally Day Heroes here. It's always a good way to find out what we have, except, and let's select a car. You can see I have I almost hit start there. I don't want to start. We'll select a car. Oh, those are my cars. Okay, buy a car. Here we go. So here are the cars that we can go, and I'll give my quick view on the ones I think are going to be the best. Let's move in here in the Audis. I don't think either one of these are going to be particularly competitive, but if one is, it will be the Quattro. This here, let me pull the weight up. They're not terrible on weight, so you might be able to do something with them. It's going to be engine swaps that make the difference here, and I don't know. Any car that is able to take the 5.7 V8 or the 1.6 Rally is going to be better than the rest of the cars, and I'm pretty sure this one can't. I don't know about the Quattro, so maybe the Quattros, I mean, the weight's pretty good on these, and you could get some horsepower. You might actually on this S1 be able to make a speed car out of it. If you can get, it's going to have a base of 288 horsepower. I'm just not sure you can get enough. Or you can get in the Evos over 400 horsepower, in the Subarus over 400 horsepower in B class. So maybe. Right, this one starts a little more horsepower, so maybe there's something we can do there. I'd have to play around with them, but I have a feeling that you're not going to see a lot of those out there, or they're not going to be super competitive, but I could be wrong. Next up, we're going to have the Mitsubishis. We have the 2008 Evo 10, the 2006 Evo 9, the 2004 Evo 8, and the Evo 6. I can tell you right now, just going through these, the Evo 6 is probably going to be your most competitive car, and that's just weight. Right? These things just get super heavy, and the Subarus are the same way as they go up, and the PI is pretty similar. Or you do have one that's lower here, but man, it's 3,200 pounds, even at 439. This starts at 490, and it's only 2,800 pounds out of the block. So this is going to make a nice grip car with the 1.6 swap. I don't know if this takes the 5.7. I know the Subaru does. I'd have to look at that a little closer. If you can get the 5.7 in here, though, you can make a speed car out of it, which is what I've done with the Subaru. So yeah, probably, you can make they'll be okay. There just won't be as good as this one. And it's purely weight. Right, it's purely a weight thing. These will all take the engine swap that you want to have. And again, because you got a little more PI in this one, this is probably your second best bet is the Evo 9. I don't know, man. It's about 200 pounds, 180 pounds difference between these two. That'll probably almost make up the PI difference, to be honest with you. So on over to the Peugeot, the 205 Turbo 60. This might be okay for a purely grip car. So I don't think you're going to be able to make it fast enough to do anything. Really light, so this could be this has a chance to be a decent short track car. So you could get around, you know, the short Catalunya, you know, things like that, and maybe be okay with this one. So this has some potential in there. Then we get over to the Subaru. So we have the 2015 WRX, the 2011 WRX. You can look at the weights on these as we go through. They're heavy, right? I wish you could use that. It's a cool. I like the 2015. I like the looks of that. Then it loses some of the classic look of it, but I still kind of like it. The 2011. Then we have the 2000. Oh, we have the Impreza WRX in here as well, which is a little bit different car. Dang, that thing's heavy too, though. So that's the 2008. Then we go down to the 2005, and then down to the 2004. Now we start to get at least a little lighter, but we get into this one. This is the 22B is going to be a go-to car in this. I think you're going to see lots of people using it. It comes in at 2,800 pounds. I mean, look at this. So that's 493 and 3,200 pounds. This is at 459 with just 2 less horsepower, a little bit less torque, but that's really not a big deal because you're going to put the 1.6 engine swap in here. The great thing about this is it also takes the 5.7, the V8. So I have 2 versions of this already built. So I already have a tune out there, and I'll link it here for this car from previous. And I don't know if that was a previous league build. I think it was. But anyway, it's a really good grip tune that's really stable, really zippy, and good grip. So check that one out. I also have built a 5.7 for the faster, more speed tracks. So I have 2 versions of that. I don't know that I'll be building any of these other ones because I just think this one's going to outclass the rest of them. At least in B. Your second best bet is probably going to be this 2004. Both the 2004 and the 2005 and Forza 5 were pretty competitive cars. Just a matter if you can get the PI worked out or not and make it light enough. So that's all those. These do go up in horsepower a little bit as you get up here, but they're just so dang heavy that I don't know that you're going to get anywhere with them. So that's the Subarus in there. Move over here. We have a 2014 Golf and a 2010. I honestly don't think either of these are going to be particularly competitive just because they're heavy. They start up towards the top of C, even though you can take it up into B. I don't know, you might be able to make something speed or something competitive out of these. I don't know the exact engine swaps for them. I haven't went and looked at them yet. So, but probably not. So I think you're going to see the lobbies mainly dominated by the Mitsubishi and the Subaru. You'll probably see some of these Peugeots thrown in there. Maybe an Audi or two. But I think that's about it. People are going to use other things, but I think the most competitive ones are certainly going to be the 99 Evo and the, which one was 98 Subaru 22B. So those are probably going to be the 2 best. Those are 2 that I'm going to build. I already have the 2 22Bs. I am going to build a 99 Evo, and I might play around with this one here. I might see if I can make a nice little zippy short track build out of that because it's light. It's the lightest of all the cars. So there might be something here in the short track. So I may play around with that also. So that's those cars there. I mentioned the Lotus 211 for that. That's all of our league. We still got the bounty going on out there. If you want to go out there and run it, I have not beat him. He's got a final time 138.230. So if you want to go out there and look at that, he is at 138.230. That is his final time. You got a few more days to go ahead and try to beat that. I am in like the mid 138s. I'm almost there. I didn't run a whole lot. I ran probably another 5 or 10 laps. I probably got 40 or 50 total laps in now. If I probably sat down and dedicated some more time to it, I would get there. Just don't have that much time, especially on the weekends and some things like that. And the time I do have, I like to spend trying to make some videos and get some information out to you guys like this. So that's going to wrap it up for the Xbox portion of this. Let's head on over to the PC and take a look at what's going on in the forums and a little bit in the overall racing community. All right, so here we are over on the PC. Got like 3 or 4, I think 4 threads I want to talk about real quick. We still got the Community Bounty Hunter you can check out there. People still talking about that, still running through that, so that's out there. I want to just call this one out. I think I have before, but Manteo Max keeps a league thread going every week, and there's lots of good discussion about it. You could come in here and find the cars that I just went through. Oh, it's Global Touring is if you're able to do the Ghost, and there are the cars there, but good information out here, and then lots of discussion by people about cars and different things about the league. So as always, make sure you check that out if you're going to be going out and doing league play. The next one, I was reading through this thread, and it's been out there for a while. It's about a month. It said, have cars like the Escalade, Hummer, Limo, etc. been banned from racing online? And yes, they have certain numbers of them, and while I agree with that, this person here posts doesn't necessarily agree with it. And Turn 10 did just weigh in. Meckberg, not just, but Meckberg weighed in and said that yes, that they took out some of the more common cars that people use to wreck with, and I agree with it. And if you've seen my review, you know my position on this is I like to just keep the game more to the racing type cars in there. I'm not a big fan of having SUVs and trucks, unless it's the racing version of trucks on, on the oval or whatever. I'm just not quite a fan of that. I understand people that want to do it though, and I don't really want to limit the game. I would like to think there's a way that you could maybe have a separate hopper for that series of cars. But I don't know. I get why they did it, and I also get why some people don't like it as much. Good discussion happens towards the end, though. It spirals into kind of an interesting discussion about Horizon versus Forza Motorsport. So I would suggest reading that. I'm a Forza, motorsport guy, not a Horizon guy. I think the game, I'm sure, is a lot of fun. It's just not something that necessarily appeals to me because I like circuit racing, and that's why I play Forza. I like doing rivals. I like racing online and those things. That game is more of an arcade style Horizon. When you're taking Lamborghinis and all these crazy cars and jumping them and breaking through fences and driving through fields. That doesn't appeal to me as much, but I do understand the appeal to other people, and it doesn't mean that it's not a good game. But there's some good discussion out there, so I encourage you to go out there, hop in, and watch what people are saying. It's basically, you're talking about one person's opinion versus another. Somebody likes Horizon, somebody likes Forza Motorsport. You like what you like. All right, I try not to put people down for their other opinions and go from there. So that's those threads there. I do want to highlight a couple of things in the Tuners Garage. Check out frequently. There is a new tuning competition that starts, but however, it is already full. But I think it's still fun to follow, right? Rosny's putting this on. It's the first time he's done it. He did limit it to 10 people, and I can understand why he did that the first 10 to sign up, and they do have 10 people in there out there. You can't put your name on a reserve list if you do, but you have to pick one of these cars. They're the 95 Corrado VR6, the 98 MK3, the 93 Renault Clio Williams, and the 94 Prelude. And they're going to be running on a couple of different tracks. I didn't see which ones they were. There it is. Hockenheim National and Sonoma Full. You drive them out there, best lap times. It's fun to follow, right? And the guys will post their tunes, and people talk about it. And, they're going to share their tunes, so you could go in and drive them and see what they feel like. Also, it's a great way just to learn more about building and tuning in general to see what, some of the top guys in the game out there are doing. So that's always fun to follow, and I'll be keeping tabs on that. Next up, this is a great, How to Build a Car by HLR Juggernaut. This, in my opinion, is a must-read for a couple of reasons. Number one, the initial post. There's a lot of fantastic information in here, and a lot of it I plan on covering in a video coming very quickly as we get more into our tips and tricks for Forza 6. I'm going to have a how to build a car, how I build a car. And there's a lot of things that I completely agree with, and there's a couple things that I would do a little bit differently than what HLR says here, but that's the beauty of the game. But great information in here, just jam-packed. Highly recommend. There's lots of tuning things out there, but I love that he put a build out there, because to me, if you don't have the build right, then the tune isn't really going to matter all that much. That's fine-tuning what you did with your build. And so you got that initial post. There is also a I don't want to call it a rebuttal, but some opinions from LMR Harmonic, who's one of the top builders and tuners out there, refuting a couple of points or reinforcing a couple of points. So it's just some fantastic discussion. There's some really interesting things that I've heard before, but not necessarily confirmed by Turn 10 on how the PI system works. But go out there and read that. It's awesome, and you contribute to that. So that's that part. Last thing we're going to finish up with, we've covered pretty much all the things in the community. There's really nothing new for updates or anything new in the Forza 6 Motorsport news section. The last thing is still the community bounty. Nothing new on Porsche that I've heard yet. Hoping to hear something about that soon. But the last thing is the if you watch any of the day, and I caught a little bit of it, Daytona 500. I definitely watched a replay of the end, but it was a crazy ending where Denny Hamlin edged out Truex Jr. I mean, literally by about a foot or 2 feet, and it was just crazy. It was a crazy, and there was almost a crash in there right at the end. I mean, it was fun to watch. Right? I mean, if nothing else, come out and check out the finish in there, and you won't be disappointed. So anyway, I think that's about all we got going on in the community this week. Get out, race your leagues. Do that stuff. Videos coming this week for me. I'm going to go into more in depth. Assists will be the first thing, and then hopefully a build. So I hopefully have those two things out there: a building video and talking a little bit more about going into a little bit more depth on the assists themselves. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.